right. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So, I thought I'll go out my way and do this video because I see people in dire need of help or knowledge on a simple question. And the question is, can I swap a 6-liter into my 6.2 truck or Cadillac? So what they're, from what I've seen on the Google, is people, when somebody asks a question, they get smart asses kind of saying stuff like, why would you downgrade it? Why this, why that? And that's not what he asked for. He asked for is, does anyone have knowledge or a clue, or what am I getting myself into? Okay, so this video, what I'm gonna do is I am going to take out my 6.2 Pro Charged LS3 out of my truck, and I'm gonna replace it with a nice reliable, because I love 6 liters. My opinion, the 6.2s are garbage. Only because I've owned so many and had nothing but problems. So if you want to do about a 6.2, it could benefit you, but in my profession and what I live for, I want reliability and I want the biggest power that I can scream out of the bloody bastard. So what we're gonna do here on this video is show you that it's not as hard as people think it is. So I'm just gonna show you guys that I'm not fibbing. That's my Cadillac Escalade 6.2, my 2010 GMC 6.2. They're both shit motors. I've had nothing but issues. All right, guys, so here we go. We're starting to tear things apart. So right now we're removing the whole harness. We're gonna undo the harness, take the intake out, and then after that, we're gonna remove the Pro Charger, brackets, and everything. All right, so I'm probably about 4.5 hours into tearing it apart. This is where I'm at. Headers, everything, water pump, front drive system, everything's off. So basically now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the 6 bolts that are the motor mounts, and we're gonna remove both sides. And then tomorrow morning, we're gonna probably take the hood off because being lifted, it's kind of a pain in the arse. I removed the rad fans. As you guys see, I have fans, headers, all the bracketry. I don't mind the 2 water pumps because the one is just the old one. So yeah, it's gonna be totally awesome, I guess. Tonight, basically, once I get the 6 bolts out of each side of the motor mount, they are 15s. Once I remove both of those, what I'm gonna do is probably jump over and take the intercooler piping and everything off and get it cleaned up, and maybe start polishing all the metal that was originally polished, because that bracket for this Pro Charger is quite dirty, and the Pro Charger itself is quite filthy. So as you guys can see, big old snail, and I don't like seeing oil in there. There shouldn't be any oil in there, so we're gonna clean that up. Yeah, I'm getting super excited, so let's see how this all goes. For the boosted applications, for spark plug wise, I know a lot of you guys ask what spark plugs am I going to be using. I'm going to be using the TR6s, just because I'm not boosting like crazy amount of horsepower or crazy amount of boost because it's a Pro Charge. So I went with the TR6. It's a colder plug. It's 1 range colder. I know the TR7s are good, but really I don't need to go that crazy. I gapped my spark plugs to what was it, 0.28. Yeah, so 0.28 thou, 0.028 if you want to be corrected. I just do that just because if you're running a lot of boost, you always want to gap your spark plugs, just because you don't want to blow out the spark plug. So it all depends on the boost you're pushing. I'm not pushing a crazy amount. I'm just pushing about, what was it, 10.6 is what my truck was calling for. So I just like to gap them a little bit closer, just so I don't blow that spark out. All right, guys, so that motor is ready to come out for tomorrow. So tomorrow we're gonna come in, probably take the hood off, and probably gonna forklift this one out, just because, and then probably forklift the new one back in. I don't know. But got the stuff all cleaned up, polished. You can see the plate for the Pro Charger there is polished, and the Pro Charger itself is beautifully polished. There's a couple things I can't get out, but it is what it is. So I just can't put a stock 6-liter in it. I can't put anything stock in any of my vehicles. So we're gonna make it pretty to kind of match the prettiness of the truck. That's just how I am. As you guys can see, everything I own, I can't not touch or do something different to. I have to molest it. I've always been that type that had to molest my car because I can't drive anything stock. I know, some say it's a disease, some say it's a curse, some just say you're just a stubborn bastard and you just do what you do. So, all right, well, tomorrow, new day. All right, so the only thing that we found out that was a little different is the oil pressure sensor. Realistically, that's not a big deal, but other than that, everything else should be the same, but this is where we're at. Motor's already bolted up to the transmission. We're gonna drop it down a little bit more and then start putting her back together. I actually didn't think it would have went in that easy, just because our luck with engine stands. The forklift definitely made it so much easier. Plus, if you undo these bolts, you can make your hood go a little higher, so you don't have to worry about any clearance issues. So far we had to change the flywheel over. I didn't want to take the chance of using the other flywheel. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna make sure, and plus I had the aftermarket flywheel on this truck already, so everything's going very well. So what I did is I actually changed the motor mount on the driver's side because that's the one that picks up. I highly recommend people to do that when you do this motor swap, just because that's usually the weakest mount. Passenger one usually gets crushed by the weight torque of the engine. But this motor mount is off my 2007 Cadillac Escalade. 2007 all the way up to 2014, it should be all the same, doesn't matter left or right. 2014 is where the motor mounts get a little stupid, but yeah, this is coming together very well. We're also going to just put new training lines in it. I already have a new oil cooler line, so I just want to do brand new training lines all the way through it, just because those ones are starting to look a little wet and I'm not liking it. So yeah, man, it's getting exciting, super exciting. Look how nice it looks in there, so pretty. So pretty. Seems like it's getting crazy outside right now. Got the craziest rainstorm thing going on right now. Oh my goodness. That's some thick water. I literally just opened the door for a second and my arm's just drenched. Holy shnikes! It's a free car wash! But anyway, so we're getting close. Having some issues. I accidentally broke the alternator bracket, so that Pro Charger and everything has to come back off. We got to change that, and then while I was putting spark plugs in, I would highly recommend anyone that's doing your spark plugs, just always put something under it, like a blanket, pillow, a working mat, anything like that, because when it hits the ground, the porcelain cracks, and after it cracks, it's garbage. So I am actually gapping my spark plugs also at 0.28 thou, so it'll be 0.028. Doing that just because where I am with boosting. In fact, I wonder where that spark plug tool went. Might be on the ground now. But yeah, it's coming along pretty good. Everything has bolted up, everything's plugged in. So the major thing is that we might have to do is, like I said, the tuning. Everything else should be compatible. I just really hope this is gonna be working out right. So that's where we're at right now. I'm almost finished. I got the headers back in, I got the torque converter bolted, the transmission bell housing all done. Yeah, it's getting very close. It's getting very close, minus that we have to take the whole alternator bracket off again, and power steering and everything. That's kind of a pain in the butt. I really hate doing those, but it is what it is. Because it's the long weekend, I ain't gonna be able to get a spark plug. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the 7 in it, the 7 of the new ones in, and then I'm just gonna use one of my old ones that is a little slightly different, still NGK, still a TR6, but it's a Radium IX instead of the TR6 V-Power. So it is what it is. Live some, get some, whatever. So let's get this thing going. Let's get this done. All right, so we finally got everything done that needed to be done. These are the moments where we all get worried, but this is how she is. Don't mind that piping. I'm gonna probably end up changing the piping on this. So just put oil in it. We gotta go under, make sure that the oil drain plug is nice and snug. That is a pain in the butt. That should be a 15 if no one's played with it. It's gonna be loud because I had to cut the long tube collectors just so it would get off of that piping. I'm not too happy about that, but it is what it is. Yeah, so somebody changed this. No engine lights yet. I don't see a mess underneath. Everything's looking good. It's getting smoky because it's spilled oil, but they'll burn off quick. You're alive. So that, guys, was a 6.2 wiring harness, ECU, and its tune. And all we did was put a 6-liter in it. So there you go. When people are saying that you have to change this and that, you don't. Absolutely not at all. It is as simple as just putting it in. Most of the things when it comes to LSs, they're mostly pretty interchangeable. It's ridiculous how interchangeable they are. I wouldn't go as far as repinning in the ECU to have VVT or not have VVT. If it has everything, that's all right. You can always delete it. If it doesn't have everything and you're putting a motor that does have everything, there's ways around it. So, but at the end of the day, 5.3s do have VVT and AFM. The 6.2s, some of them don't have AFM, but they do have VVT. So there is always something you can do with tuning. But there is exactly what I wanted to show. We took a 6.2 liter out and we put a ly6 2007 6-liter into this truck with everything from a 6.2. Everything worked the way it's supposed to. So I hope this helped you guys. I just hate when people go on Google, ask for an answer or something, or a question, sorry, and get stupid answers. So that's what I'm here for. I take it out of my day to do all the work to show you that it can be done. Take care, guys. See you around.